My name is Leslie Amaya-Yanez. I am double specializing in American politics and policy and state and local policy. I went to San Francisco State University, where I got my bachelor's degree in political science. After I graduated, I served as an AmeriCorps member at City Year Los Angeles, working at a school in South Central LA. So I grew up going to school in Los Angeles and kind of grew up within the system that the kids at Crete Academy are growing up with. My goal with getting an NPP to begin with was to be able to go back to my community and work with kids and serve kids that kind of had the same experiences that I did growing up. And I knew that the Floyd Black Fellowship would offer that to me and also give me the experience I needed to do well in my career, whether it was policymaking or in education moving forward. So while I was interning at Crete Academy, I worked mainly within our wellness center, and the wellness center basically provides wraparound services for the kids and their families. So they offer vision and medical screenings. They offer a food pantry. They offer counseling, whether that's individual counseling, group counseling. There's a food pantry. We have a washer and dryer, just kind of anything, that's a day-to-day need for these kids and their families. Crete offers just to ensure that not only are their educational goals being met, but also the day-to-day things in life that we need to kind of survive and live happy and fulfilled lives. And so what I was doing within the wellness center was researching different policies and grants that would allow us to expand the wellness center. But then I also got to work directly with families and the kids pretty regularly. So I helped a couple of parents apply for jobs and write resumes. I have helped parents apply for affordable housing, whether that's like Section 8 housing or just affordable housing developments that were coming up around the neighborhood. So I was lucky enough to kind of get to know these families really well and also help them on their journey to kind of build a more stable and, healthy life for them and their kids. I think one of the main takeaways I got was kind of being able to see, what we learn about in the program, because in the program we learn in theory and philosophies about these different things in society and the systems in society, but kind of getting to actually be in person and seeing how these systems affect people on a day-to-day basis and how the things we learn about in our classes are actually working in real life, I think is very valuable, and I'll take with me for the rest of my life, because it's one thing to sit down and read a book about how society works and how policies work, but it's a totally different thing to actually be able to interact with the people who are affected by policies every day. And I think that is the most valuable thing that I took out of this experience. I think Crete Academy definitely, as I said before, allowed me that kind of firsthand experience serving the communities that policies directly affect. And I think that it showed me how important it is for policymakers and people doing this kind of work to actually have proximity to the communities that they're serving, because you don't really know, sometimes policymakers don't necessarily know how their policy is going to affect a 5-year-old in a community or, a mom of 3 kids. So I think that proximity really allowed me to, I guess, learn as much as I could about what Crete was doing and about just policy in general. Advice I would give to a prospective student going into education policy, I think you really have to want to do it. You have to have a genuine desire to go into this work, because it is really hard. And when you are working with families and children directly who are affected by education policy and who are experiencing poverty or homelessness, it can be very difficult to process on your own terms. And I think you really need to have that genuine desire to do it. And then you also have to be very adaptable because things are changing constantly, especially with the switch to virtual learning and how we're seeing virtual learning is probably here to stay for a long time. Education policy is going to be greatly affected by that. So I think being adaptable and also just, having the grit to stick with it and keep going even when it's really difficult.